FBI Director James Comey confesses that he also puts tape over his webcam because he's concerned about hackers watching him through his computer. Now, he was asked during an interview, do you still have a piece of tape over your camera at home? And his response was, heck yeah, heck yeah. And also, I get mocked for a lot of things, much mocked for that. But I hope people lock their cars, lock their doors at night. I have an alarm system. If you have an alarm system, you should use it. I use mine. It's not crazy that the FBI director cares about personal security as well. So, yeah, I mean, to be honest, I put tape over my web camera because I don't want the government spying it on me. I'm not that concerned about hackers, funny enough.
I like how the FBI director popped over your shoulder as you were talking. Very appropriate. Okay, so the other guy who apparently puts a sticker over his webcam is Mark Zuckerberg. So there you have it, the two guys who would know best on whether people can spy in on you through that camera. The guy who runs Facebook and the guy who runs the FBI.
But I would say, and I know now because I've seen the movie, the third person who put it over is Edward Snowden.
Yeah.
He did it with his girlfriend. Because he recognized it. He knows more about this than anybody on the planet.
So, okay. So
I don't put a tape over it because, you know, I mean, I'm proud of myself.
Good for you. Okay, you've got Anthony Weiner-like issues. Like, hey, might as well see it. I mean, it is a national treasure.
You know,
okay.
I mean, it's what God gave me. I'm not bragging.
I mean, you didn't do anything about it.
Yeah.
You just got it. Okay, so now...
it's like this talent. It's not, I don't do anything. It's God. I mean, it's just amazing like this.
Yeah, it is. It is what it is. All right, now let's bring it down a little further. First, I'd like to take this opportunity to once again say to the mainstream media, what now? Because I remember when we had the issue with Michael Hastings passing away, right? And a reporter came and interviewed me about it, and he saw that I had, which is surprising because I don't really do it at work. Maybe he saw Mark had tape over his webcam, and one of the guys who used to work here. And then he wrote in his article, like, Michael Hastings used to work with these kind of guys who cover their webcam. Something like that's the soup he, you know, that's the kind of atmosphere that he worked in.
Yeah.
Like a little snide comment, like they're all paranoid. They're all conspiracy theorists. Right, so when Michael Hastings died in that car accident, like, you know, come on, you know, nothing to see here. Everybody look away. The government is always right, and they're not spying in on you, you liberals. Now, is James Comey, the director of the FBI, who, by the way, was John Ashcroft's #2 guy, okay, under the Bush administration, he's a liberal and he's a conspiracy theorist? No, he knows that you can definitely spy in on people through that camera. It doesn't mean that every camera is being spied in on, every person is. Doesn't mean the FBI is doing it to you, but does it mean that it's possible? Of course it's possible. And are they doing it to some people? Of course they are. In fact, he later said, you go into any government office, we all have our little camera things that sit on top of our screen. You do that so that people who don't have authority don't look at you because they know they're looking at people. And that's so that everybody in the government is covering their cameras because they know, because they're the ones who are looking. So if you're not covering your camera, hey, they're probably not looking into you. There's 300 million people in the country.
If you're a boring private citizen, no one gives a shit what you're doing.
Yeah,
you know, and
I hear you. But if you think that, no, they're not doing that to anybody, well, you're empirically wrong. Here's the FBI director going, well, of course we are. That's why we cover our own cameras.
Also, big story this week. I mean, this shouldn't surprise anybody. And I'm for the Trump-Putin alliance stories, right? Like, I think they're legitimate. I think they have substance. I think I get to say that without wishing for another Cold War where we near nuclear Armageddon. I'm not for that. There are other people in Russia who could lead that country who we could get along with better, who don't kill journalists, right? Aligning yourself and praising Putin is wrong. But we did learn this week that it turns out, this will surprise all of you, we have really stepped up our spying on Russia.
No.
Yeah. Turns out we also do it. Like we might like if there was a serious opponent running against Vladimir Putin and we had an opportunity to find out what they had on Putin, we wouldn't try to hack that information. We wouldn't try and get that information. Of course we would.
Yeah.
No, again, I hate it that they did it, and I think that praising it is nuts and that should be used against a candidate who praises it, but let's not pretend like we're not involved in the same thing. We're I presume, I hope, I'm super jingoistic. I hope we're better at spying than everyone else.
Yeah. And so let's say you're a Mormon and you never do anything wrong on your computer, although evidence indicates that #1 place for porn consumption is Utah. But nonetheless, I'll grant it to you, and you're an angel, you don't do anything.
Very rural.
Yeah, that's true. So you don't do anything quote unquote wrong on your computer. You're not doing anything against the government. You're not committing any crimes. You're not looking at porn that might embarrass you if your wife finds it, whatever it is, okay? But that's not the point. First of all, I don't believe you. But second of all, that's not the point. Because when an enemy of the state that they'd like to target, not because he's a terrorist, but because he's going to reveal the torture that the CIA is doing, or he's going to, if you're a conservative, he's going to reveal that the IRS is actually targeting conservatives. All of a sudden, they're in his computer. Because they can be in his computer, and they're going to say, oh, he was leaking things. He was doing this, he was doing that. If you want to find a violation, you can find a violation on anybody as an excuse to, well, I had to look in on his webcam to see what he was doing because we were doing an investigation. We had to find out what criminal thing that he was doing. So then we become a police state. And again, if you're a conservative, you're supposed to hate police states. You're supposed to love freedom. So liberals, conservatives, and independents should all agree on this. So yeah, they're spying in on us. And yes, that's not how this country is supposed to run. If you're upset with mainstream media, we have the alternative for you. Come build independent media with us. Your membership powers the Young Turks. tytnetwork.com/join.